Hello, bankers. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. So, I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. Documentary letter of credit, very important unit. So, you can face one case study based on this particular one. There are some case studies given at the end of this particular unit. So, we will practice Macmillan case studies also, and I'm preparing some similar case studies also. So, that will be part of study. And here we have. LC, type of LC, the operational operations of LC. UCP 600 guidelines are very important one. Okay. So again, standby LC, this get asked so many times. And documents under LC, this portion is again very important from this particular unit, right? So yes, which module of BFM is full of theory, sir? So BFM, in case of BFM, na, it is hard to say कि this is completely theoretical. Like mostly the paper is application driven. So I'll suggest like this doing this segregation is bit tough for me also. Okay. Returns are very good evening. Chalo. So what I'll recommend कि the content I'm providing na, at least go for this particular one. See, there are so many candidates, those who recently starting this particular thing after having experience with ABM things. So now what we will try within by the Saturday itself, few things. If anything will remain, I'll record that particular one, I'll upload. But our deadline is Saturday itself. Before Saturday, we have to include or we have to conclude all the 4 modules आपका summary wise and all, because then Saturday or Sunday we'll be having some marathon, or every day we'll be having marathon for the remaining days आपका, ठीक है? So Avinash sir, I'll recommend कि first concept is kind of a must thing. There are some topics आपका देखो हर एक मॉड्यूल के अंदर ना there are some topics, उन टॉपिक को ध्यान में रखते. I have done one session today itself, so you can refer that particular video for the subtopic wise or for the topic and under that particular one the important areas and all. ठीक है, चलो. So when it comes to the letter of credit, which generally makes sure if seller fulfill all the term and conditions of that sale agreements, they'll receive the payments and full payments, right? So we have different parties involved in this particular one. It is initiated by the applicant, who is a buyer in this particular case, and we have buyer's bank, which is generally known as opening bank. Okay? So LC transactions, these are the parties involved in this particular one. Buyers or importer, which is also known as applicant, on whose behalf LC is opened by the opening bank itself. And it, for our bank, it is a kind of a fee-based services, and it is categorized under the contingent liability. Seller, who is generally known as beneficiary. Opening bank, buyer's bank, who establish or issue the LC. The advising bank आपका, which is sellers or exporters countries bank, who act as a agent of issuing bank and authenticate and advise the LC itself. Confirming bank can be the advising bank, or sometimes it can be differ also, who undertake to pay on behalf of the issuing bank. Most of the time these two banks are same, but they can be like दोनों ही आपके अलग अलग भी हो सकते हैं, ठीक है? So when it comes to the LC, it is basically it generally guarantees to the sellers, if they fulfill the conditions, so they'll get their timely and the full payments for the shipment or whatever the sale it is, right? So when it comes to the entire process, so we have these many steps which are generally part of this particular one. So it start like, let's say Indian importer, they entered into a order with the sellers from some other country, let's say it is US. Then order confirmation is there. Then application for LC by the importer with the importers bank in India. Let's assume any XYZ bank. Yeah. Then after this we have LC transmission, which is Swift MT 700. Yeah. Then after that we have LC advising, and the sixth one is a export formalities. Goods are shipped. Then आपका presentation of documents for scrutiny, and the eighth one is copies of documents they'll receive. Again, ninth one is These are the basically submission of documents for after scrutiny. Then eighth one is ninth one is deliver of documents in compliance of LC. Tenth one is payment made at site or due date. Site bill are basically which are payable at the time of presentation of documentations. And we have Usain's bill, they have a specific date, like after 3 months or after 2 months or 60 days or 30 days and all. Then 11th one is credit advice, and the final goods taken for the delivery and copies of documents along with the BOE details are get submitted. So this is the kind of entire workings of this particular one, correct? So LC that generally work in this particular format, and these are the steps which are generally part of the LC itself. Now this UCP 600 is very important. So ICC which generally release these common rules आपका basically, these are the common procedures while we enter into international trade. So international trade mein every country they have different rules and regulations regarding the payment things and all. So to harmonize them or to create some sort of uniformity, so we have a ICC, that is International Chamber of Commerce, and they come up with some set of rules in 2017 in the name of UCP 600. Prior to this, we have overall आपका 6 UCPs. ठीक है. Prior to this, we used to have UCP 500. Then prior to that, UCP 400, UCP 300, 1933 or 34 when ICC first time introduced these particular guidelines, right? So many banks and lenders are subject to this regulation, which aim to standardize international trade, reduce the risk of trading goods and services, and govern trade. First UCP was created in 1933, and the latest one is July 2007. That is your UCP 600. Now these are kind of accounting standards. जैसे होते हैं ना accounting standards, every company is using same rule. So this is something like this. While we create that LC or while we generate the invoice आपका, these are not the legal form, but that invoice or that LC provide the legality to these particular things. कि the trade will be happen as per the term and conditions of UCP 600. So that means while we'll do these kind of transactions and all, so they'll automatically become part of that particular trade itself, right? So 1st July 2007 onwards, earlier this we have 1933, then आपका 1951, 62, 84, 94, 2007, where we come up with the UCP 600. Now these are the areas which I'll mention homework here. So I'll recommend to all of you guys, प्लीज गो थ्रू दीज पर्टिकुलर वन वंस, ठीक है. सो एक बार इनको आपका थोड़ा सा देख लेना. यूसीपी 82 आपका, ठीक है, द वेरी फर्स्ट वन, ठीक है. सो देन वी हैव यूसीपी 1933, देन वी हैव आपका यूसीपी 151 1951, आपका 1951, 1962, 1990. बहुत like very rarely you will get question around these particular one, but still I'll recommend कि एक बार what were the major changes around these particular one, you can have a study, ठीक है. एक look आपको just you have to go through these particular one. But UCP 600 are very important one, ठीक है. So these are the current guidelines, so they are very important one. So when it comes to the ICC, Paris appointed a task force after approval of the Banking Commission in 2003, undertake the revision of UCP 500. The task force, after working for over 3 years, prepared a draft, that is new UCP. So basically in this particular one, the consultation group comprising 41 members from 26 countries was formed to discuss the draft. The draft was also referred to the National Committee, including ICC India, and key issues were identified, taking into the accounts the various opinions from the different one, and documentary credit dispute resolution expertise, decisions, paper, court decisions and others, they were generally part of this one. The major changes which we generally come up with the UCP 600, so this is the list आपका, ठीक है. This is very important one, हाँ. So ये सबके लिए बहुत important है. So new article covering definition and interpretation was get introduced. Removal of reference to revocable credit. So we remove this revocable credit in this particular one. New sub article covering documents lost in transit got introduced in this particular one. We have 38 or 39 articles which are generally part of this particular one. 39 articles in case of your UCP 600. Okay? We'll go through the 39 articles, their summary also. Setting up maximum exemption period as 5 banking days following the day of presentation. The stipulation that documents are to be appear to fulfill their functions where the credit is silent with regard to the data content and possibilities for handling discrepant documents. So these are the new things which we generally introduce with the help of this UCP 600. Okay? So article of UCP 600 grouped as, so now you do not have the detailed things around these particular one. So we have 39 articles. Yes, हाँ. So we have 39 articles which are generally part of UCP 600. तो अब इनका ना डिटेल इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ योर करिकुलम, ठीक है. दे हैव जस्ट गिवन दी ग्रुपिंग ऑफ दीज पर्टिकुलर, सो दैट मेक दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग मोर इंपॉर्टेंट. तो थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखिएगा आपका, ठीक है. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू द आर्टिकल 1 to 5, it include definition of LC, interpretations, interdependence of LC, underlying contract. These are generally defined under 1 to 5. 6 to 10 आपका availability, expiry date and place, obligation of issuing and confirming bank, advising credit and amendments. Then आपका article 11 to 17 pre-advised credit, nominated banks, reimbursement arrangement, compiling presentations, original documents. Article 18 commercial invoices, article 19 to 27 transport documents, 28 insurance documents, article 29 to 33 extension tolerance, partial and installment drawing and hours of presentation, 34 to 37 disclaimers, 38 and 39 transferability and assignment of proceeds. So these are the major basically these are the 39 articles, and this is the grouping of all these 39 articles as per the UCP 600. Okay? So please go through this particular one and do revise this one, again very important one. So these are the areas, like the entire things, like let's say if you are entering into a LC contract, so we generally give references to UCP 600. So that means everything will be in accordance to these 39 articles and all. Okay? So that is generally part of this entire LC journey and all. Okay? So buyer to seller or आपका seller to buyers, everything that generally get covered under this one. Now, liability, responsibility and right of parties. This get asked in the previous examination also. So around the applicant or the issuing bank or the beneficiary banks or the sellers. So everything's generally defined under this particular portion. So applicants आपका, applicant is responsible for maximum things in this particular LC contract. So the applicant of LC must give complete and precise instruction for issuance of letter of credit and any amendment thereof. The LC must not include excessive detail or give any preferences of the credit previously issued to avoid any confusion or misunderstanding as per Article 5 आपका. The applicant should indemnify banks against any obligation imposed by foreign laws. So that means आपका, let's say if there are some changes in foreign laws, or that due to those particular changes, if opening bank is going to face some sort of losses, that losses are generally borne by the applicant itself. And this was the question in your previous examination itself. तो थोड़ा सा उसको ध्यान रखना आपको. Issuing bank is the party acting on behalf of the applicant and should therefore ensure itself about the credit worthiness of the applicants. This is about the issuing bank. Sorry, issuing banks. Then the issuing bank give definite undertakings to make payment in case of sight and accept and pay on maturity in case of acceptance or deferred payments, to authorize bank to negotiate and to reimburse the negotiating banks, provide that the stipulated documents are presented under letter of credit article 289 आपका, ठीक है. So basically issuing bank आपका, their responsibilities toward the payments, they are providing some sort of standby guarantee to that particular shipments and all, or that particular sale contract, okay? And they have to first check the credit worthiness of the applicants. Otherwise, like if everything is okay, so they'll be responsible for any kind of default made by the borrower itself, okay? So that is the one. And at the time of the shipments, if the bill is demand bill, so they have to make payment at the time of shipments. If it is Hussein's bills, they have to make the payments in the future itself, right? Pankaj sir, very very good evening. So advising bank, so आपका applicant, the maximum responsibility belongs to applicant. Basically this point आपका, if there is some changes in the foreign laws, or if something that is not disclosed by that particular applicants, so if opening bank is going to make any losses, that will be borne by the applicant itself. Another thing is applicants, आपका issuing bank or the opening bank who will responsible for the payments, if they entered in that particular one, they are providing some sort of financial guarantee to the advising bank, and they have to check the credit worthiness of the borrowers or the buyers before issuing that particular LC on behalf of the buyer itself, okay? Advising bank has option to choose as whether it wish to advise LC or not, okay? But they have to inform it immediately, okay? So if agree to advise the LC, then it must do so by taking reasonable care of checking the authenticity of the credit. In case it decide not to advise the LC, then must inform to issuing bank immediately if the advising bank is unable to establish the authenticity of the LC itself. They do have that option. They can advise or they can ignore that particular one, right? So the another part is, which is again very important one, that is related to documents under the LC, especially that bill of ladings and others, they generally comes under this one, scrutiny, crystallization and all. So these are the areas which you have to go through before practicing MCQs or the case studies, right? So bill of exchange, basically this is added if our LC, like if the LC type is Hussein's, so we generally issue a bill of exchange, or in other case also, okay? So this is the medium of payments aapka, which we are using. Bill of exchange, which is generally drawn by the your creditors on the debtors, okay? So जैसे bill of exchange के जो सारे features होते हैं वही. So if it is Hussein's bill आपका, so there will be a future date mentioned on that particular one. If it is a demand bill, so they'll issue a demand of like we are not making payment in cash basically as a bank also. So they'll issue one one bill of exchange, and we have to make payments accordingly. We means आपका opening bank. So bill of exchange being used of the most important financial documents drawn by the beneficiary on LC issuing bank. It envisages the issuing bank to make the payments immediately if it is drawn on site or accept, and pay on due date if it is Hussein's. That is generally part of this one. So following requirements. One is it should be drawn by the beneficiary on the issuing bank and payable at tenure mentioned in the letter of credit. It should indicate the issuing bank name and letter of credit number under which it is drawn. It should, unless and otherwise specified, the drawn in currency of letter of credit, should not exceed the amount of letter of credit. Let's say the letter of credit amount is 1 million US dollar. So it should be that invoice amount is 1 million US dollar. So it should be mentioned in dollar, and the other part is the amount should not exceed beyond the $1 million. It should be exact that amount. Any correction should be duly authenticated. So these are some basic requirements while we sign the bill of exchange for the payment purpose, right? Invoice, this is basically the sale and purchase agreements between buyer and seller, and the value of invoice, that generally based on that particular one we make the LC. Your LC amount cannot exceed to the invoice value and all, and based on that particular one, weight, everything, that is generally part of this one. Okay? So while preparing the invoice, these are the following key aspects. It should be made out by the seller or beneficiary as stipulated in the letter of credit. it should, unless and otherwise specified in the letter of credit, be made out in name of applicants or opener of the LC. Description of goods must be corresponded with the description of goods given in LC. The same things should be part of that one. Invoice must indicate the order number or contract number or performa invoice number and number of LC along with the issuing bank names. The invoice value should not inversely exceed the LC value. If invoice is issued for an amount in excess of the amount permitted by credit, so as per the article 18B of UCP-DC, the drawing should not exceed the amount mentioned in the LC. Let's say the invoice value, the LC value is 1 lakh, or let's say the LC value is 10 lakh in rupees, and the invoice value is 12 lakh. So the maximum amount payable by the opening bank will be 10 lakh rupees. We cannot exceed the amount whichever is mentioned in the your LC document. So LC is a primary tool or primary instruments which we are making as a benchmark for this particular case as well, right? If you are having any doubt, please do let me know. This bill of lading is again very important. This get asked so many times. So bill of lading is a transport documents evidencing a movement of goods from the port of the acceptance to port of the destination. Let's say from US to India or any other country. It can be by flight or by through the shipment also. So it is a receipt issued by the ship owner or the authorized agent stating that goods indicated therein, like quantity, quality descriptions, are shipped on a specific date and through specific vessels and deliverables to the person mentioned therein as the co-assignee or his order. After payment of all dues to the shipping company as well. The bill of lading should be a complete set of negotiable copies along with the number of non-negotiable copies as stipulated in LC. It should bear the signature of the ship owner or the authorized agents. The description of goods should be corresponded with the LC itself. Bill of lading should bear the letter of credit numbers along with the name of the issuing bank also. So these are the major areas around the delivery of your, we can say, bill of ladings or the documents or the movements of those particular goods as well. Payment of freight should be clearly indicated in bill of ladings as part as per the requirements of the LC. LC should call shipped on board bill of ladings, and accordingly the bill of lading should bear such clauses. It should be drawn to the order of the shipper, blank endorse or in favor of the issuing bank as stipulated in LC also, the remaining amounts or dues. The date of the shipment should be within the date stipulated in the LC itself. Let's say the LC date is like whatever the date mentioned or for that entire trades and all. So that shipment should be within those particular date. Partial shipment or transshipments is, if permitted in LC, should be clearly indicated in bill of lading also. The gross weight, net weight should be indicated in invoice. Bill of lading should not generally be a date prior to the date of issuing of LC. Okay? This bill of bill of lading should not drawn prior to the issuance of LC itself. Again, it should be after that particular one only. The bill of lading should not be clause unless specifically permitted under the LC as well. So these are some important guidelines आपका. So that is something related to this one. Ji sir, will come to the Incoterms also. So Incoterms, like they also get asked so many times in the past itself. Insurance policy and certificates आपका. The next one, so it must be issued and signed by the insurance company or their agents as per article 34A. It should not issued by the brokers. The date of issuance of insurance must be on or before the date of shipments, or it must be endorsed by the specific notations that the cover is effective from these many during the date of shipment itself. The currency of issuance must be the currency of insurance must be same as the currency of LC. The policy should clearly indicate the work it covering the part which they are going to cover, and claim should be made payables in the country of applicant itself. The all original must accompany with the documents. The description of goods in insurance policy certificate should be in conformity with the LC itself. Okay, that is again आपका link with this LC documents itself, right? So that is generally part of this particular one. Certificate of origin आपका, ठीक है, that is the another one, ठीक है. So certificate of origin, once we are sending or seller, we mean seller here, ठीक है. So basically once the seller is doing that shipments, so they'll issue this of their authorities will issue the certificate of origin from where these goods are coming. All right. So in some cases, like some like danger countries and all, we have some sort of restrictions आपका, ठीक है, जहाँ से ये सब चीजें नहीं हो सकती. So certificate of origin determine the origin of goods. It must be issued and signed by the independent authority such as Chamber of Commerce, informing origin of good, value, invoice, bill of lading. Detail appearing in the certificate of origin must be consistent with other documents. It must be ensured that origin of goods is not from any war fighting country consisting of banned hazardous goods and all. Okay? So that is generally given in this particular area itself. Okay? So crystallization of foreign currency. Issuing bank on receipt of documents drawn under the LC has an obligation to pay immediately. If documents are drawn at sight or accept and agree to pay on a due date, if the documents are drawn on acceptance basis, provided the documents are drawn strictly as per the term of LC. So crystallization is something around the payments. If it is side bill, so you have to make payments on the receiving of those particular documents. If it is आपका Hussein's bill, so you have to make the payments in the near future itself. Standby LC is, this get asked so many times again. So what is standby LC? It is something, there are some countries like US, UK, they do not use a term called financial guarantee. So this is a replacement of financial guarantee. LC is basically providing some sort of financial guarantee to the seller. If you will fulfill the commitments which are generally part of that sales agreements, you will receive your payments, or on behalf of buyers, we are giving you financial guarantee that you will receive your full amounts on timely manners, right? So the standby LC is basically LC where we are making that commitments. That commitment will get fulfilled. That is generally your आपका standby guarantee. ठीक है? So international trade has been this. So we'll come to this direct other point and all. Like we have these one. So type of LC is opened by the bank in countries where there is restriction on issuing of the guarantee, financial guarantee basically, and therefore standby LC provide a suitable substitute for the performance or financial guarantees. The document required are bare minimum like proof of delivery of goods or proof of non-performance or a simple claim as well. So what is standby guarantee? Standby LC, basically your LC is providing or while we are opening that LC, we are doing some sort of commitments with the seller's bank. Now the other documents which is known as standby LC, which is providing some sort of guarantee that this promise, whatever we have done in that LC things, that will get fulfilled if these things are met, right? So that is not. It is as simple as that. Performance guarantee 100% true. Ajit sir, aapka So it is a kind of like if you fulfill the conditions and all, it is exact financial guarantee, but there are some countries who do not use that term. So for that sake, we have this replacement itself. Use of standby LC. Standby LC by authorized dealers. So bank can establish standby LC by the following conditions, like documents promised in respect of non-performance situation, especially as substitution of the guarantee with authorized dealers as permitted under FEMA, such as issuing a guarantee in respect of debt, obligation or other liabilities incurred. An exporter on account of export into India owed to a person resident in India by a person resident outside India, bona fide trade transactions, ठीक है. So this is similar to your आपका, there is nothing new आपका, ठीक है. जैसे for what purposes we use the LC, and this is the kind of a performance guarantee as mentioned by Sir also, ठीक है. If that things get done, so this we are making some sort of we are doing some sort of commitments कि the promise which we have mentioned in the LC they'll get performed by the bank itself, ठीक है. So this is important, this get asked so many times, so please do remember this one, ठीक है. Safeguards आपका where such standby are required by the applicants again who are independent power producers or importers of crude oils and all, ठीक है. Specific categories आपका, ठीक है. So the conditions where we can issue as per the FEMA Act, these standby guarantees and all, right? Next one, Incoterms. Last to last year, I guess there was no question in last session, but last to last year there was number of questions around the Incoterms also. So Incoterms, it is international commercial terms. So whenever we do this international trade or whenever we enter into an international trade, while we form that agreements, so we use some shortcuts. These shortcuts are kind of they are generally known as Incoterms. The current version of Incoterms is 2020, which is given in your book also. So parties to contract are often not aware of different terms, trade practices in the respective countries, which can cause misunderstanding, resulting in unnecessary dispute. As such, ICC published a set of international rule for interpretation of trade terms, which is known as Incoterms. The ICC publications on Incoterms has been updated on several times till 2020, and the full form of Incoterms is international commercial terms. Now, how these particular work? This is the things now which I'll recommend ki abhi you just have to go through these particular one, but during just day before of examination, this is the point which you have to revise or recall, and try it. Even I'll recommend, this is the things कि जो आपको ना एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में एंटर करने से पहले एक बार जस्ट आप इनको क्विकली गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, बिकॉज वी कैन नॉट मेमोराइज ऑल द इनकोटर्म्स, वी हैव अ ह्यूज लिस्ट, ठीक है. So they and even we have different categories also. I'll show you this. So this is something related to these are obligations where we have, these are the seller's obligations like warehouse services and all. In some cases we have आपका buyer's obligation. So buyers and sellers obligations is generally defined under this particular one, ठीक है. जैसे departure आपका ex workers, ठीक है, ex works, name place आपका like जामनगर्स और पुणे and others. मेन कैरेज पीरियड आपका CFR, ठीक है, CFR आपका कॉस्ट एंड फ्रेट, नेम पोर्ट आपका CFR जैसे JNPT और CFR चेन्नई, दीज आर द नेम ऑफ द पोर्ट, ठीक है. देन CIF, ठीक है, कॉस्ट इंश्योरेंस एंड फ्रेट, आपका CIF JNPT और द अदर्स वन, ठीक है. CPT दैट इज द कैरेज पेड टू, सो इट इज आपका CPT दुबई और अदर्स. CIP कैरेज एंड इंश्योरेंस पेड टू. देन वी हैव main carriage unpaid, CFA free carrier, then we have FAS free alongside ship, FOB free on board आपका, ठीक है. Arrival at the time of arrival, so we have DAT delivered at terminal, we have DPU delivered at places unloaded, and we have DDP delivered duty paid and all, ठीक है. So see what is basically what are the Incoterms? These are applied on the contract of sale but not on contract of carriage. They deal only with the relationship between buyers and sellers, and these are kind of a terminologies. They are generally dividing the responsibility आपका, which responsibility belongs to buyers or which belongs to the seller itself. But you cannot remember all these particular one in one go. What I'll recommend कि जब आप लोग whenever you'll enter in your examination or a day before of your examination, like here you can see. So Incoterms organization and the charges for buyers and sellers, the various responsibilities of suppliers and buyers shown in this particular figure. You can see as you move from left to right, the obligations of sellers increase where the buyers decrease. The first leftmost, Incoterms impose maximum responsibilities on buyers, and the last, which generally impose responsibilities on sellers. Okay? So like we have EXW. Okay? So these are the areas EXW. Okay? So the first one, then we have CFR, CIF, CPT. So if it comes to these particular one, EXW, FAS, FCA, FOB, or आपका CFR, CIF, these are the Incoterms which we generally use in this trade, and this generally shows the responsibility. ठीक है? So mostly आपका when it comes to the left side आपका, ठीक है, so in this particular case left side the maximum responsibilities are generally belongs to the your buyers, ठीक है. So like we have in this case buyers, and these all are generally buyers, and then these move toward the sellers. आपका the responsibilities in that particular agreements and the division of that particular responsibility, ठीक है. So while we design that sale contract, we generally mention around these particular things. We generally use these terminologies, and with this chart, basically what we are doing, ठीक है, like let's say origin inlands आपका, ठीक है, warehouse services, export packing, ठीक है, और आपका freight ports और origin, और we have आपका forwarders a fee, ocean and air freights. So initially आपका these are generally borne by the buyers, and these are generally done by the sellers. Let's say custom clearances, these are by the buyers, and the only one is seller is आपका DDP. Like in case of warehouse services, these are done by the sellers, and the entire things is generally done by the sellers. Export packing, again entire things is done by sellers. Loading at port आपका buyers, then आपका seller everything. So this is something, the responsibilities in that particular trade belongs to what responsibilities belongs to buyers, what will be borne by buyers, and what will be borne by the seller itself. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा सा इसको एक बार रिवाइज कीजिएगा, that will help you in your upcoming examination also, right? So which of the following statement regarding LC, letter of credit, are correct? So you have to find out the correct statement about the LC. So what will be your correct answer? Very good evening, Batula, sir. Very good evening. Very good evening to everyone, guys. चलो ठीक है, start करते हैं. So first question, guys, please quickly read. We have done with the concept classes. We have done two set of questions around this particular unit. Though the question was very easier side, but now this is the real exam type practice आपका, ठीक है. So बढ़िया से सबको आंसर करना है. So a letter of LC is revocable, a commitment by buyer's bank to pay the seller upon presentation of documents evidencing a shipment. The advising bank authenticate and forward the LC to the exporters and may be located in a seller country. The confirming bank involved and take on the obligation to pay the seller. Then we have the negotiating bank must always be different from the advising and confirming bank. A letter of credit can also cover non-physical transactions such as software transmission or service delivery, provided proper documentations is submitted. So what will be your right answer for this particular one? Who will answer first? बताओ दोस्तों, क्या होगा आपका करेक्ट आंसर? सो नाउ विल बी प्रैक्टिसिंग अ टफर क्वेश्चन, बिट टफर क्वेश्चन, ठीक है. रीजन बीइंग आपका, क्योंकि एग्जाम्स में ऐसे कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स आपको मिलने वाले हैं, ठीक है. द फर्स्ट स्टेज ऑफ प्रिपरेशन और सेकंड स्टेज ऑफ प्रिपरेशन वी हैव डन विद द कॉन्सेप्ट क्लासेस एज वेल एज टू सेट ऑफ एमसीक्यूज, ठीक है. तो बताओ क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर आपका? बी. हिमांशी मैम इज सेइंग बी. Aniruddha Ghosh is saying option C will be right answer. So statement 1 is wrong. Statement 1 is wrong. I hope everybody is aware about this particular one, because as per UCP 600 now there is a change. Now this is irrevocable. So this statement is wrong. The advising bank authenticate and forward the LC. Statement 2 is right. The confirming bank, if involved, take the obligation to pay the seller. 100% true. The negotiating bank must always be different. It is not necessarily always. It can be, means आपका advising and confirming bank can be same आपका, ठीक है. Advising, confirming and negotiating bank can be same, or in most of the cases they are same. ठीक है, so this is also wrong. And LC can also cover non-physical transactions such as software and all, 100% true. So 2, 3, 5 means आपका option B must be right answer for this particular question. Correct है? No, not D. Everyone guys, those who mark the option D, they all are incorrect here. ठीक है, they all are wrong. So B will be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है, B and D are different options ना? Yes हाँ. ठीक है, so these two statements, ठीक है, LC is irrevocable first of all. Now the second one is आपका the advising, confirming and negotiating bank can be the same. ठीक है, in most of cases they are same. ठीक है, so we generally do these kind of activities through the correspondent banking and they are most of the time same. ठीक है, चलो next question guys. Okay, please quickly go through this question. I'll move this marker here. So you have given one situation based question, basically kind of case study, and based on this particular question what we have to find out, we have to find out the correct statement. So you do not have to lose your patience. हाँ ठीक है, अब ये आदत डाल लीजिए, बिल्कुल पढ़ने की आदत डाल लीजिए. ठीक है, बिकॉज ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन आपको मिलेंगे. Okay, so based on the given information or cases, which of the following statements are correct? You have to find out the correct statement. What will be your correct answer for this one? Yes, I'm getting some answers. Santosh sir is saying option C must be right answer for this one. Remaining guys, एक बार answer कीजिए. I cannot even enter there. ठीक है. Sometime like to increase the font, I have to use the full screen. What will be your correct answer, guys? Based on this particular information, what will be your right answer? Santosh sir is 100% correct here. ठीक है. So the LC is irrevocable, ठीक है, and without the consent of the issuing bank. The issuing bank cannot amend the without the consent of Global Tech and SDFC in this particular case. ठीक है. So usually it is आपका irrevocable in nature, and without the consent of the parties involved in that particular one, it cannot be amended. So C must be right answer for this particular one. Yes, हाँ, everyone, हाँ, very good guys, awesome. ठीक है. So under an irrevocable LC, any amendments require the consent of all concerned parties, ठीक है, all concerned parties including the beneficiary and confirming bank. So that's why we opted the option C as a right answer for this one. Very good. You will see these kind of case studies for this one, LC आपका, and even the Incoterms also get asked. We'll practice some question on that one, and that other rules आपका I'll include in the mock test, module A mock test with 100 questions, a set of 100 questions. So you will be able to participate in this particular one. Option module, a transferable LC can be transferred only once. This is the one. Since second beneficiary cannot further transfer it. Basically, transferable LC, which is like it is kind of an endorsement we are doing from one party to another party, ठीक है, but it can be done once only. Whoever asked this particular question, हिमांशी मैम आपका, ठीक है, तो एक ही बार आपका उसको क्या किया जा सकता है, ट्रांसफर किया जा सकता है. चलो नेक्स्ट वन आपका, an exporter who use different type of LC, तो टाइप्स, सारे टाइप्स ऑफ LC कवर है इस क्वेश्चन में, ठीक है, for various export transactions. So consider these particular one, ठीक है, ये statements आपको दिए हैं, and then you have to fit them आपका in different type of LCs आपका, ठीक है. तो basically this question is generally based on types of LCs. तो यहाँ पे these are the transaction and you have to fit कि ये कौन सा type है and this is आपका कौन सा type या others आपका, ठीक है. There are 5 type of LCs which are generally given in your book itself and we are covering all these 5 in one with one question itself, ठीक है. चलो बताओ, ये जनता कम होती जो जा रही है ना, please do not come for the आपका PDF ओनली, ठीक है. सो आई डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड दिस पर्टिकुलर साइकोलॉजी की थोड़ा सा टफ क्वेश्चन देखा तो भाग जाओ वाला, ठीक है, कोई पॉइंट नहीं है ना फिर यार, CIB है भाई ये. चलो, सो व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर? आइडेंटिफाई द करेक्ट टाइप ऑफ LC, LC करस्पॉन्डिंग टू सिचुएशन 1 to 5 रिस्पेक्टिवली. बताइए क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर? Z obtain an LC that permit receiving an advance payment. It is आपका यहाँ पे आपका जो आंसर होगा that will be based on this one, ठीक है, before the shipment on the written undertaking. But if G fail to deliver the document or ship goods, the issuing bank incur the losses. ठीक है, फर्स्ट जो ऑप्शन आपका है, ठीक है. सेकेंड ऑप्शन, इन अनदर ट्रांजेक्शन, ओके आई एम गेटिंग आंसर ऑल्सो. ठीक है, संतोष सर यस, हाँ ठीक है. समीक्षा मैम वेरी गुड. चलो ए लो आप लोग बोल रहे हो, ठीक है. The another transaction G, LC, where advance paid only after the providing proof that goods are warehoused, ठीक है, along with the undertaking submit documents. Okay, so this is a case of आपका red clause LC, ठीक है, and this is आपका green LC. ठीक है, statement 2 is around the green LC आपका, ठीक है, green LC. ठीक है. Third one, if you talk about the third one, ठीक है, Z LC where payments are made immediately. तो ये क्या हो गया आपका Usain's bill हो गया, ठीक है. So then we have Usain's bill, ठीक है. For the separate export deals, Z receive LC that allow payment after predetermined credit periods following acceptance of the draft or bill of exchange आपका, ठीक है. सॉरी, दिस इज आपका Usain's bill, ठीक है, दिस इज Usain's bill, ठीक है, ये आपका Usain's bill है, ठीक है. where we have a certain date आपका, and this is your side bill. sorry sir, this is your side bill, ठीक है. so this is side bill आपका. At the time of documentation presentation we will get the payments or the beneficiary. in this case आपका where we have date like 60 days 90 days and all, ठीक है. Lastly, Z utilize LC which act as guarantee to cover payment risk in case of buyer's default on the payment. तो दैट इज स्टैंड बाय एलसी, ठीक है. स्टैंड बाय एलसी आपका, दिस इज आपका स्टैंड बाय एलसी, ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही है. तो ये सारे टर्मिनोलॉजीज हमने डिस्कस किए हैं. अच्छा ओके, पहला ही करेक्ट बैठ रहा है क्या? यस, हाँ बिल्कुल सही. फर्स्ट वन आपका वेरी गुड गाइस, ऑसम. तो रेड क्लॉज, ग्रीन क्लॉज, देन वी हैव साइड एलसी, उसेंस और आपका स्टैंड बाय. सो दीज आर द एरियाज. सो आपका प्रॉपर एक्सप्लेनेशन टू योर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ एलसीज विच वी जनरली यूज इन दिस पर्टिकुलर वन, ठीक है. करेक्ट है. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं, ठीक है. ए आपका, ए इज द राइट आंसर. हाँ, थर्ड वन इज साइड बिल, सॉरी, ठीक है, आई टू टेक इट रॉन्ग, ठीक है, बट दैट इज करेक्ट आपका. ए इज करेक्ट आंसर, वेरी गुड, ऑसम. चलो नेक्स्ट वन. आइडेंटिफाई विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट अबाउट एक्सपोर्ट लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट ऑपरेशंस आर ट्रू, ठीक है. सो एम्प्टी मैसेजेस इसमें जरूर होंगे आपका, 100%. सो एक्सपोर्ट और आपका इंपोर्ट लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट, वी हैव टू एरियाज. So where we have empty swift empty messaging, ठीक है, वही differentiate create करते हैं mostly आपका. So you have to find out the true statement about these particular one. बताओ दोस्तों क्या होगा आंसर. ये बहुत आसान क्वेश्चन है, वेरी वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन, सीरियसली. आप अगर थोड़ा सा इसको ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे तो समझ में आ जाएगा. So what will be your right answer for this one, guys? What will be your right answer? The overseas buyer request for their bank to issue LC by submitting copy of the confirmed contract under the confirmed contract or order to the bank. The exporter bank issue LC. देखो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, the exporter bank issue LC, ठीक है. Who issue LC आपका, ठीक है, this statement is wrong, correct है ना. And directly the overseas buyers bank through the SWIFT, no. तो ये स्टेटमेंट रॉन्ग है आपका, ठीक है. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए था, इंपोर्टर बैंक. दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू. एक्सपोर्टर मस्ट फाइल शिपिंग बिल और शिपिंग बिल आपका एक्सपोर्ट डिक्लेरेशन फॉर्म, ठीक है, दैट इज आल्सो नोन एज एक्सपोर्ट डिक्लेरेशन फॉर्म, ठीक है, ईडीएफ. और इन केस ऑफ गुड्स आपका अदर देन सॉफ्टवेयर इट इज ईडीएफ. अदर केसेस आपका इन केस ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर इट इज सॉफ्टटेक्स्ट, ठीक है. Form to get custom clearances before shipment of goods or software, ठीक है, 100% true. The exporter bank negotiate or forward the export documents to the buyer's bank after ensuring compliance with the LC term. Payment under the side bill is made by the buyer's bank transferring funds by a SWIFT MT202 to exporters notes to account through आपका, ठीक है. तो 1 3 4 5 1 3 हाँ, ऑप्शन डी should be right answer for this particular one. करेक्ट है ना आपका. D will be right answer. Yes, option D must be right answer in this particular case as well. ठीक है, समझ में आया सबको. तो only statement wrong was आपका ऑप्शन 2. The exporter banks does not issue the LC. LC कौन इशू करता है आपका, इंपोर्टर बैंक, बायर बैंक आपका, ठीक है. So buyer is an applicant and they apply for LC with their local bank आपका, ठीक है. Let's say there is a buyer from India, so they'll approach to your bank to issue LC on behalf of that particular buyer आपका, ठीक है. The LC is issued by the overseas buyer banks, issuing bank आपका, that is generally known as, then transmitted through the SWIFT MT700 to exporters bank or the advising bank in India, ठीक है. ये जनरली मतलब रिवर्स केस में आपका वेयर वी आर एज अ एक्सपोर्टर आपका, ठीक है. आवर कंट्री इज कंसिडर्ड एज अ एक्सपोर्टर. अगर हम यहाँ से इंपोर्ट कर रहे होंगे तो वी जस्ट हैव टू चेंज द स्टेटमेंट इटसेल्फ, ठीक है. चलो नेक्स्ट वन, identify incorrect statements about the import letter of credit. Now it is around the import letter of credit, ठीक है. So you have to go through the statement please. एक बार जल्दी से आपका देखें, ये भी आसान है वैसे, ठीक है. जो स्टेटमेंट्स आपका देख के समझ में आ रहे हैं. चलो एक बार देखिए क्या होगा आंसर आपका. व्हाट विल बी योर राइट आंसर. ट्राई करो, ठीक है. कोशिश करना है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. गलत आंसर होगा चलेगा, बट यू हैव टू पुट सम एफर्ट्स आपका, ठीक है. So the importers bank open the LC only after verifying the importers credit worthiness, ठीक है. यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, importers credit worthiness and internal approvals from the bank and transmission through the MT700 to overseas suppliers or the correspondent bank आपका, ठीक है. First statement, the overseas supplier bank scrupulously check the authenticity, means basically when they are advising that LC of the LC before advising it beneficiary, and pay the beneficiary immediately on the receipt of LC. आपका यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, pay the beneficiary immediately on the receipt of LC, ठीक है, letter of credit. The overseas suppliers submit original export documents to the nominated bank, which either negotiate or forward them to importers bank after verifying compliance with LC terms. The importer bank independently scrutinize the export documents and deliver them to the importers against payments for sight or usance. The after the importer files the bill of entry and custom release the goods, the importer submit copies of documents to authorized dealers, which close the outstanding entry in the IDPMS system आपका, ठीक है. So what will be your answer for this particular one? क्या कहते हो दोस्तों. हाँ, the only correct answer I got from Joy sir, ठीक है. देखो यहाँ पे ना सारे स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस वन स्टेटमेंट, ठीक है. कौन सा स्टेटमेंट वन इज 100% ट्रू. ओवर द ओवरसीज सप्लायर बैंक्स, देखो ये ना पूरा सही था यहाँ तक, बट ये वाला जो स्टेटमेंट है, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग. वी डू नॉट लाइक once you advise in LC, you do not going like immediately we are not making any sort of payments, ठीक है. आपने LC को एडवाइस किया उस समय you are providing some sort of assurance to the seller आपका, ठीक है, कि हम like this everything is fine after checking the credit worthiness of issuing bank. We generally providing some sort of kind of assurance to the seller आपका, कि आप अपना इस एंटर कर सकते हो. यू कैन, वी आर एडवाइजिंग थिंग, वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू द एश्योरेंस कि अगर पेमेंट नहीं होगा तो हम आपका जो इश्यूइंग बैंक है उससे लेके आपको दे देंगे. सो दैट इज द वन. बट वी आर इमीडिएटली एट द टाइम ऑफ advising the LC, we are not making any payment आपका. That's why this statement is wrong. ठीक है. So this is original documents. This is 100% true. The importer bank independently scrutinize this also correct. After the importer filed the bill of entry or this, and eventually we close after entering into the IDPMS. ठीक है. तो 1 3 4 5 again, ठीक है, 1 3 4 5 we do not have 1 3 4 5. अच्छा, हमें क्या ढूंढना था, इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है, इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट मींस आपका ओनली 2, दैट मींस ऑप्शन ए शुड बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस वन. ठीक है, सो ओनली 2 आपका विच इज इनकरेक्ट. ओवरसीज सप्लायर्स बैंक एडवाइस द एलसी टू द बेनिफिशियरी आफ्टर वेरीफाइंग ऑथेंटिसिटी, बट पेमेंट इज नॉट मेड इमीडिएटली ऑन रिसिप्ट ऑफ एलसी. पेमेंट हैपन आफ्टर सप्लायर सबमिट द complaint export documents and the bank verify them. So that is the case in this particular one. ठीक है, तो बहुत ही छोटे छोटे लाइन्स हैं. You have to develop your understanding around these particular one. थोड़ा सा अच्छे से समझने की कोशिश करो इनको. ठीक है, जितने ज्यादा बार प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं ना उतना आपके लिए ये अच्छा होगा. ठीक है, so you have to practice these particular one again and again. चलो अगला, Which of the following statement regarding UCP 600 definitions about your transport documents and dispute resolution are true? Okay, so transport UCP 600 definition, transport documents and dispute resolution are true. So you have to find out the correct statement. बताओ दोस्तों. चलो थोड़ा सा स्पीड बढ़ाते हैं, ठीक है, तो जिससे थोड़ा हम लोग आज विद इन टाइम आपका सब कुछ खत्म कर पाए. आज कितना भी टाइम हो जाए हमें इसको खत्म करना ही करना है, ठीक है. सो स्टेटमेंट आपका अंडर यूसीपी 600 बेनिफिशियरी एंड एप्लीकेंट हैव क्लियरली डिफाइंड मीनिंग इन दी डेफिनेशन आपका, ठीक है. वो क्लबिंग ऑफ द आर्टिकल्स है ना, टोटल वी हैव 39 आर्टिकल्स, जिसमें से 1 to 5 के बीच में वी हैव डिफाइंड दीज पर्टिकुलर वन, ठीक है, क्लियरली डिफाइंड. True. Charter party bill of lading must show the name of carrier and the master under UCP 600. Now we do not have to mention these particular one, ठीक है. तो पहले आपका ये मैंडेटरी होते थे, बट अभी एज पर UCP 600 आपका, ठीक है, दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, ठीक है. सो इनका जो आपका नाम है वो रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है. डॉग्स सॉरी डूड आपका डूसीडी डेक्स, दैट इज अ डिस्प्यूट रेजोल्यूशन मैकेनिज्म. ये हमने पढ़ा था आपका कॉन्सेप्ट समरी के अंदर, ठीक है. मैकेनिज्म अवेलेबल अंडर आईसीसी टू रिजॉल्व एलसी रिलेटेड डिस्प्यूट, आपका 100% ट्रू, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट वन आपका अंडर यूसीपी 600 एंड एजेंट साइनिंग अ ट्रांसपोर्ट डॉक्यूमेंट must indicate whether they sign on behalf of carrier or the master आपका, ठीक है. This is also correct. Addresses or contact detail of beneficiaries and applicant must exactly match those stated in the letter of credit. अब इसके बारे में क्या कहते हो आप लोग, ठीक है. यहाँ पे like if you go through the UCP 600 guidelines ना, as per my knowledge, like इनके लिए we do not have any provision आपका, ठीक है. हाँ, एलसी और आपका जो इनवॉइस है, इनवॉइस शुड बी मैच अकॉर्डिंग टू एलसी एंड ऑल, बट इनके लिए आई गेस वी डू नॉट हैव एनी प्रोविजन, सो दिस इज डाउटफुल, ठीक है. सो 1 3 4 आपका ट्रू, 1 3. हाँ, इफ वी हैव दिस ऑप्शन सो आई विल गो विद ऑप्शन बी ओनली. यस, क्या कहते हो आप लोग जल्दी से, ठीक है. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज फॉल्स, ठीक है. एड्रेस एंड कॉन्टेक्ट डिटेल नीड नॉट एग्जैक्टली मैच दोज इन एलसी, ओनली द सेम कंट्री इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर वन. हाँ, प्लीज इसको ध्यान रखिएगा. So only the same country is required in that case. This is also, ये हमने UCP 600 में हटा दिया था, ठीक है. Charter party bill of lading no longer need to show the name of carrier or the master under the UCP 600 guidelines, ठीक है. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं guys. Next question on your screen. Next question, please go through this. Scrutiny of documents under LC, ठीक है. Scrutiny of documents under LC, ठीक है. So what will be your correct answer? This get asked so many time, बहुत बार पूछा जाता है आपका. So it is mentioned आपका without considering any country specific regulation, ठीक है. नहीं, ये होना चाहिए कंसिडर आपका. इन केस ऑफ इंडिया it should be aligned with the FEMA Act 1999, ठीक है. So we'll not go with this particular one. The person scrutinizing the document should be knowledgeable about the UCP articles, FEMA regulation. देखो यहाँ पे आया है foreign trade policy, true आपका, ठीक है. The decision to pay under LC depend solely on whether the documents confirm on the term of LC and UCP guidelines. Again, true. The scrutiny process is straightforward and does not require understanding exchange control guidelines. It required exchange control guidelines आपका, ठीक है, understanding of those particular one. Document presented under LC are crucial because they evidence completion of trade transaction in both local and international trade. आपका true. So 235 means आपका option D should be right answer for this particular one. हाँ बिल्कुल सही, ठीक है. So option D, only 2 statements was wrong, ठीक है. हाँ देखो यहाँ पे आपको clearly mention है like FEMA foreign trade and understanding is this is kind of a must thing, then only you will be able to execute those particular one. Next one, identify the correct statement related to documents prescribed under LC. Documentation से related आपका है, ठीक है. So bill of lading or other statement will be part of this particular one, ठीक है. What I have done after going through your unit, आपका मैकमिलन के बुक को डिटेल में पढ़ने के बाद ये सारे स्टेटमेंट बनाए हैं and I have tried to align 100% content with your book, ठीक है. So like you will not face any sort of surprises in your examination, ठीक है. कोई वैसा सरप्राइज ऑफ नहीं मिलेगा. If you will be familiar with these particular statement, now what basically IIBF do, they'll come up with the same set of content, आपका similar type of content वो आपको देगा, ठीक है. तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं you have to prepare well, you have to go through these particular one again and again. I'll give you one mock test also with 100 question for each and every single module, ठीक है. तो उसको आप, जैसे मैंने एक पहले दिया था, बीच में गैप हो गया था ड्यू टू सम इमरजेंसी, तो but I'll recreate one mock for 100 question and all 100 question will be like this. I'll give you 3 hours, ठीक है. अगर 2 घंटे में नहीं होता 3 घंटे में लगाओ और 2 hours आपका जहां पे आप उनको प्रैक्टिस कर पाओ, ठीक है. तो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर? पूजिशा मैम इज सेइंग ऑप्शन ए विल बी राइट आंसर. सो अ बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज मस्ट बी ड्रॉन ऑन द इश्यूइंग बैंक, ठीक है. बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज must be drawn on the issuing bank, indicate LC number and payable in the country of LC unless and otherwise specified. True, ठीक है. Then second statement आपका, second statement, ठीक है. The invoice must always be issued in the name of the beneficiary, ठीक है, irrespective of LC instructions आपका, ठीक है. No, it should be according to LC instructions आपका, ठीक है, not the this, ठीक है. So will not go with this one, ठीक है. A bill of, it can be in the name of beneficiary but it is आपका with respective of LC instructions, ठीक है. A bill of lading मतलब जो आपका LC पे जो नाम होगा उसी नाम पे वो इश्यू होगा, कहने का मतलब ये है हमारा, ठीक है. आपका bill of lading should bear the signature of ship owner or authorized person and must correspondent with the goods descriptions in the LC. एंड इनवॉइस आपका बोथ शुड बी सेम आपका, ठीक है. करेक्ट है आपका स्टेटमेंट 3 भी, देयर इज नो इश्यू विद दिस वन. इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसीज अंडर एलसी कैन बी इशूड बाय ब्रोकर. नो, इट कैन नॉट बी इशूड बाय द ब्रोकर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ठीक है. इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज होने चाहिए सीधा, ठीक है. The insurance policy should generally be 110% of the CIF or CIP value of the goods unless specified otherwise in LC. आपका true. 135. So option A only. Yes, very good Pujisha ma'am. So option A is the right answer for this particular question आपका, ठीक है. So option A is the right answer for this one. So statement 2 is wrong. Invoice should be made out of the name of the applicants. And this is आपका insurance policy must be issued and signed by the insurance company. Okay? Agent are not allowed in this particular business, etc. Right? Next one आपका, which of the following statement are true about the Incoterms 2020? आपका बताओ क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर. हिमांशी मैम को मॉक टेस्ट कहाँ मिलेगा बताओ भैया कोई. और ये गौरव सर को, ये गौरव सर ये पढ़ाते हैं कहीं पे, ठीक है. इनका एड्रेस मैं देता हूँ आपको, इनको ब्लॉक करना पड़ेगा परमानेंटली आपका चैनल से भी, और क्या कहते हैं इनके बैंक अकाउंट को भी. कोई कोई है यहाँ पे जो नोएडा में जिसका वो है आपका ब्रांच है. इनको ना बैंकिंग सिस्टम से ब्लैक लिस्ट में डालना पड़ेगा, अगली बार से आएंगे नहीं कहीं पे. चलो ठीक है, बताओ दोस्तों क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर. हिमांशी मैम मॉक टेस्ट आपको एप्लीकेशन पे मिलेगा या वेबसाइट पे, ठीक है. मैंने उसमें ऑलरेडी 3 मॉक डाल रखे हैं बीएफएम के लिए, और अभी हर मॉड्यूल पे आपको मॉक मिलेंगे, तो जिससे आप थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस करके जा सके, ठीक है. चलो बताओ इनकोटर्म्स आपका, इनकोटर्म्स हमने डिस्कस किया था, क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर गाइस. व्हाट विल बी योर राइट आंसर? क्विकली क्विकली क्विकली. So Incoterms apply only to the contract of carriage, not to the contract of sale. तो क्या होना चाहिए था आपका, स्टेटमेंट 1 आपका रॉन्ग है. इट इज अप्लाई ऑन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सेल, ठीक है. ये Incoterms कहाँ पे एप्लीकेबल होते हैं आपका, on contract of sale आपको. तो first statement itself wrong. ठीक है. Under the Incoterms CIF, ठीक है, the seller is responsible for cost, insurance and freight to the name port of the destination. True है. The Incoterms DPU delivered at a place unloaded required to seller to unload goods at the destination, which in change from the previous term DAT. This is also correct. Incoterms FCA, that is free carrier, now allow the buyer to instruct its carrier to issue a bill of lading with and onboard notations to the seller for financing purpose. This is also correct. Incoterms seller obligation decrease as you move from the EXW to DPP. No, it should be increase आपका. ठीक है. Last one is wrong आपका. ठीक है. होता है ना, like हमने एक पूरा चार्ट देखा था Incoterms का. It generally increase आपका sellers from left side आपका buyers, and as it moved from EXW, this is the first one and this is the last one, as it moved in this direction, seller obligation got increased आपका. ठीक है. So this is wrong. So 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 means आपका option A should be right answer for this one. Incoterms को I'll not yes. See, I'll not suggest any sort of rectification for Incoterms. ठीक है. ऐसा नहीं कि आपको पूरा ये याद करने not. This is something I'll release one document just 2 days before your examination for all the 4 modules. तो जहाँ पे ना ऐसे जो guidelines या others हैं, वो सारी चीजें आपका जिसको आपको जो लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने किया था तो वो बहुत हेल्पफुल हुआ था यूजर्स को. तो इस बार भी मैं आपके लिए एक ऐसा डॉक्यूमेंट्स बना दूंगा जिसको आप लोग मतलब यू कैन कीप दैट पर्टिकुलर वन हैंडी एंड यू कैन रिवाइज विद दैट पर्टिकुलर वन इंक्लूडिंग दिस Incoterms, मिनिमम एवरेज मैच्योरिटी पीरियड या अदर्स. यू कैन नॉट मेमोराइज ऑल दीज पर्टिकुलर, बहुत सारे हैं उसमें आपका. ठीक है. तो दिस इज द वन. करेक्ट है दोस्तों.